Okay, let's go live. It's James speaking. I'm really struggling with all of this AI stuff. And I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking, is this really a waste of time? If you've been on my channel for a while, it's trainingsites.io is my website, and the channel here is Training Sites TV. I've been doing videos for the past 6 or 9 months, all about starting, building, growing an education business, but more importantly about how you can use, a lot of it's been about how you can use AI tools and AI to really up your game when it comes to education businesses. So if you're a coach, consultant, speaker, someone who's got a passion for something and wants to teach online and be able to share that expertise, I'm betting you've been swamped, completely overwhelmed with all of the AI stuff. And in fact, I've been guilty of it because almost every day I do a video that's about some brand new AI tool or platform or something like that. And it's coming out so fast, it's really hard to keep up with. And in fact, I'm struggling with it personally. So what I want to do today is I want to try and tell you about the shift that I'm trying to make in how I approach AI, and kind of a little recap on, I think there's only 3 things that you really need if you're going to have an education business or an information business, a content creator. The 3 things that kind of business needs, and the 3 things you need to do if you want to earn money with all that expertise that you have. So why is it a waste of time, and how does that kind of fit into things? What I'll do is, just to give you an idea, I'll open up one of my pages on my websites here, and I'll go to YouTube. We'll just take a quick look at YouTube and some of the stuff that I'm seeing today here on my particular feed. And again, these are people that, this is stuff that I subscribe to, and it's like a little bit of stuff that is, of course, kind of dig into it, but it's like Janice, DeepSeek, AI Google Studio, Agentic AI, Animate Anything, AI Claude, uh, thumbnails that pop, 1,000 subscribers. There's all of this stuff. Operator, ChatGPT, all of this stuff is being slammed out as quickly as possible, and it's really hard to keep up. And more importantly for me is I don't know which one to use, when to use it, how I should be using it, why I should be using it. And then you have to try and inform yourself and try and figure out, how does all of this apply to me? And I think everyone's getting lost in the weeds when it comes to this. And what I mean by that is we're focusing on the tools and the tactics and some of the things that they can do, as opposed as what they should be used for. So here's kind of what I'm going to focus on over the next little while, playing around with this. Is me personally, I'm going to think a little bit longer term, and my focus is going to be on how to use AI as a digital employee. So think of it as this: all of the stuff that I've been talking about with the AI tools, be able to replace stuff and automate stuff, and looking down at all of these individual tools, trying to figure out how to use them. I'm going to step back a little bit, and personally, I'm going to try and focus on, where does this fit in to my business if it was an employee? What are the things that I would ask it to do for me or get done? Not necessarily how it does it, but what is the end goal of having all of this AI stuff? And some of the talks and stuff I've seen, like people, forward thinkers in the industry, are talking about digital employees and digital hires. And that's, I think, the approach I'm going to do, because I'm getting overwhelmed and slammed with all of this deep stuff on individual tools and things that it can do. So having said that, what does a business really need if you're going to be a content creator, an education business, places where you're going to teach things? What are the 3 things that you actually need? And there's only 3 things, and I've talked about this in a couple other places. Maybe what I'll do is try and get my trusty video pencil working here. For me personally, the way that I look at this, if you're going to be a content creator, an education business, someone who's teaching something, over the next little while here, there's only 3 things your business needs. So the first one is, make sure I got my pen working here. And again, pardon my penmanship. I've awful penmanship. It wasn't good when I started, but since I haven't been writing in 20 years now, basically just typing for the last 20 years, it's awful. So bear with me. The first one is I think a business, the first thing you need is an audience, not leads. I don't think leads are important anymore, but you have to have an audience. That's why it's like your own personal TV station, right? You want to get a group of people that tune into you on a regular basis so you have an audience. And that audience is not about finding someone and shoving them into a funnel. It's more about getting people to understand and relate to your message. And that's building your audience. And there's a whole bunch of different ways of doing that, which are traditional ways. I think there's only one way, and I'm going to share it with you a little bit later on. But that audience is the key and the foundation of what we need to do. And I think actually, let me do this because it'll make more sense. I think what we should do here is maybe have one. I'm going to put this not at the top of the list, but at the bottom of the list. So number one is an audience. We've got to build that, and all of our efforts for the business are about building that audience. The second one that is kind of forgotten if you're too far down in the weeds is you're going to need email list. And sometimes I call it members, but you need an email list. You still do, you always do. If you're going to be in any kind of business, your audience is one thing, your email list is what the value is, because these are the contacts, people who are looking in your audience that have raised their hand and they say, hey, I need a little more information from you, or I need some help. And what we're going to do in any business is try and collect those contacts and be able to have a record of all of the people in our audience that have asked for a little bit more. And that really comes to the third part is if we have an audience that tunes into us on a regular basis, if some of them raise their hand and given their email address to ask for a little bit more information, the third thing is, and this is what the business needs, right, is you're going to have something to offer. And this is all I'm focusing on personally for the rest of my life and the rest of my business life is I'm trying to keep things really simple. It's like my audience, my members, and offers. Those are the three things that a business needs. Now, one of the other ones that I run into on a regular basis now is, having said that, people think about, well, how do I build my audience and what are kind of the metrics and how do I know if I'm growing my audience? How do I know if it's the right audience? How do I get them to become a member? How will I know if they're a member? How do I get their email address? And then something to offer. What should I offer? I want to start an education business. Is it a course? Is it courses? Is it coaching? How am I going to monetize all this stuff that I know? So here's the thing that I've picked up on this. The first one is that I personally believe that if you're in the education business, the only thing you should focus on is YouTube videos and creating YouTube videos. That's it. Now, there's a couple other ways that you can kind of side hustle the focus on YouTube's to get it to be able to distribute it in a whole bunch of different ways. But that is only what you should do for audience building, is focus on YouTube. And when you're focusing on YouTube, there's only two metrics that really matter with an audience. And here's the ones that you want to focus on, at least that I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on, and as much as I really like to, like I struggle with this personally, because if I see someone else's list and there's like 7 billion subscribers, I go, wow, that dude's made it, or that person is really on top of it. They must be really successful. And I think in the past, from what I've seen, that was probably a pretty good indicator. But of all of the research I've done and the feedback that I've been getting as my subscriber list goes, I don't think subscribers are everything. And the two things you might want to consider is views and engagement. So views and engagement. I didn't write those off on the right-hand side, but those are kind of the two metrics that I think you should think about when you're thinking about YouTube and your audience. It's one thing to have an audience, but if that audience is a subscriber list and they don't actually view the videos you created, that's what you want. You're going to have a small subscriber list and lots of views. You can have a big subscriber list and very few views. So if you're in the audience, you can have people that like your show, but if they don't tune in, they're not necessarily of value. The second thing is if they're tuning in, Are they engaged in the show that you're putting on or the information that you're publishing? Are these the things that they go, hey, yeah, this is interesting to me. What about this? Or they ask questions on YouTube, or they go to the next step, which is, how can you help me out? And they're going to request more information. Sometimes it's in the community of YouTube, but there's some other things, and that's the next part is, how do I create a member list, or the next step? And I think the part here is building your audience is one thing. You need some way to collect email addresses. And my goal here personally is to build a platform for people to come where all of this additional information is organized and curated for them so that it's my platform. It's one thing to build an audience on YouTube, but if it's not your platform and it's YouTube's platform, that's not necessarily building the business. So as a business builder, I want to have some kind of platform where I can have a member list and the contact deals as much as I can, and also a place to collect and inventory all of my information because I'm going to need it for the next step, which is having an offer. So if you have a member list and you go, great, I got an email list, what happens now? Well, a lot of people go, I got a list of 100,000 people. That's kind of like the subscribers, right, on YouTube. You can have a big subscriber list, but the things you have to look at is if you're going to be in a membership area or a platform for your business that is your own, that you own it, you need a couple more metrics that are more important. You're going to be sending emails on a regular basis to people because that's a way to let them know when to tune in and what they can tune into, to reach out to them, not just publish the show and have them hope that they see it. We can actually engage them as us, as a business owner. But there's three things to pay attention to. One is, if you're going to be sending them emails, you want to know how many people are actually opening them. So it's not the list size, it's the opens, they're important. And then the clicks, because if you have a message that someone opens, but there's links in it and they don't click on anything, that's not of value about getting them to your platform where you can make offers to them. And that's the other piece that's there. I'm a big firm believer on building a platform, which I'll get into in the next step, but the logins, or the number of times that people log into your platform, is the other thing that's important for your business. So we've got an audience, we've got a way to capture a member list. And again, I use a membership site called a campus, or a personally branded campus, or a training site. Those are kind of the words you'll hear me use interchangeably. Those are the first two things. The third thing is you need to have something to offer. And again, that offer can be a whole bunch of different things. It can be courses, mini courses, micro courses, checklists, any of the way that you can package information, either digitally and or live with you teaching online. You have to have something to offer. And as much as that area, the campus, the membership, the training site, your platform, you're going to let people into it at some level in exchange for their email list. That's how you build the email list. But you have to have something in there to offer people as well, to be able to monetize your experience and what it is that you're trying to share or teach people about. So if you're not focusing on what your business needs, and you're focusing on new AI tools, does this, and this is a new tool, and this is a special service that I can get, and this is good for doing this, and this is good for doing that, I think you're wasting your time if you don't consider how it affects the three areas of your business that are the only ones that you need to focus on. So that's kind of the key for me. I'm looking at that and I'm working on it for the next foreseeable future. I've kind of bet my bottom dollar on this one, and it's exciting because I see where that's going, because I have 25 years of experience in the digital marketing and online course space. That's really exciting. And if I'm going to do that and focus on those three things for my business, what are the things that I have to do personally to make this happen so that I can use AI as an employee and not get stuck in the weeds deep down in this whole idea of new tools and new services and new benchmarks and new prompts and all of that stuff. Three things that you need to do personally. You have to get started. You got to start your business and get in there and get doing it. And when you're starting it, there's a couple things to focus on. You have to focus on know what you want, like what's the goal or what's the purpose for you to build your education business. So you better know that up front. Second thing is you have to have some idea to know what your audience wants, or the audience that you think would be able to benefit from what you want to do. What is it that they want? What are the questions they have? What are the challenges that they're doing? What are the things that they are having trouble with? What are the things they're not having trouble with? What is being asked more? What is being asked less? So you know what you want. You have to know what your audience wants. And then you have to come up with some idea on how to combine them and answer those questions that does it in a way that allows you to help with your expertise, and then also charge some money for some version or variation of your information to what it is that they need or request. So you got to start it. First part, start building your audience, start posting stuff on YouTube. Secondly, you need a platform, a personal platform to capture the email addresses and inventory all of your YouTube content and your courses and your coaching and your resources and your templates. All of that stuff, you need your own platform to do it. Don't give it to someone else's platform and try and put it in different places, hoping that you'll be able to put it into a course and charge for the course. You want your own digital platform. Now, the reason for this is because an AI worker needs to know where all the information is so it can work on your business. And that's kind of the key of building your platform. So you want to start it, knowing all that stuff. Previous step, you want to look and start building your personal branded campus, your training site, and then you need to grow it, which is about how do I market the offers that I have to the members in my campus that were once my audience. Your job is to start, build, and grow. So start making sure that you build your audience, and you do that with YouTube. Build out a platform to keep all your information and organize it in the form of any way that you can offer it and market those particular offers to the people who are already your members. This completely reverses a lot of the stuff you might be taught right now. It's a longer term play, but it's the one that I'm focusing on, and being able to not get stuck in tools and things to do and landing pages down in the weeds, and just focus on starting, building, growing, building an audience, collecting email addresses to get people part of your campus, and then being able to make at least an offer or let them know about one product that you have, one thing that you can sell, but to your membership, where you have that connection and that ability to get more details on how they need help and what you can do with your experience to help them out. So where does this go from here? Well, here's the part that's, that I do personally. Some people say, James, why are you even bothering with this? Why are you called training sites? If I go to my channel, for example, I'll just view my channel here. If I go to trainingsites.io, start, build, grow your online training business, I call it a training business because I think if you are going to teach online, you want to build an education business, you need a training site. You need a place that is yours, that is your business's. Your small business, you are in charge. If it was in a retail place, it's like, here's my store. These are my processes. This is what we sell in here, but it's my store. I'm not renting some space where there's 7,000 or 8,000 stores that are exactly the same. I'm hanging my shingle out. I want to have an actual business. So I call it a training site. And working through other people and with other people, if you don't want to call it a training site, the part that is interesting for me is for solopreneurs, individuals, subject matter experts. The value is that training site is technically a privately branded campus. It's a place where you can have your offers, your information, your community, be able to market people in your community, have your YouTube videos in, but it is branded for you as the expert, and it is private. The only way into it, or at least part of it, is, hey, give me your email address. So I'm not going and trying to train and educate on all of these big sites. I'm trying to build my audience and get them to be part of my business. And it's about me as the expert or my experts in my company. And that allows me to really control and get a handle on everything that's involved in starting, building, and growing an education business with a training site. And where does AI come in all of this now? What would you do if you had a digital employee that was able to help you do the marketing, help you create the courses, organize what it is that you've got, manage the assets or the pieces that you have? This is the exciting part, is that these AI tools that are coming out are becoming our digital employee. And all we have to figure out is, more importantly than what the tool does and how it does it, is what do I need it to do so that it can do stuff that is stuff that I don't want to do, because I just like making videos. I just like teaching. I just like talking to people about all the experience that I've had. So hopefully this is making sense to you. If you are interested in this, there's a couple things that you can see that I do right away with each of these particular things. It's actually cool because right now it's 4 minutes to 1, and actually I have a live stream schedule. It's an open coaching call right now. You can see it there in 4 minutes, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. But if you look at any of the videos that I do, any of the ones that I open, always says right at the start, join the community for free and join. That's how I do it. I just get people as part of my audience on YouTube to come and join my membership site. And if they're interested, you can certainly do that. And one of the things that I do inside, of course, is you can go and see the courses, the videos, the live classes, all of those pieces that are there available for you. So hope you like this. My name is James, trainingsites.io. Make sure to like the channel and subscribe and join the campus. I'd love to see you inside. Take care. Expect the best. We'll be back tomorrow, or actually in 5 minutes, 4 minutes live, if you end up to be able to come on the live stream. If not, I'll be here tomorrow as well. Take care. Expect the best.